Dreaming it changes every time. It's usually an intersection of all these things that like I haven't thought about in a while. Sometimes it'll be like really relevant, like, oh, this happened the other day and it's coming back in my thoughts. But for me, they're usually really random and from the past, which I don't think is like a very typical thing. I don't really know. But for dreams, there have been moments where I wake up and I remember everything that happens, but then the 10 seconds that pass, it goes away. But then later in the day, I'll be doing something and I remember the entire dream. And it's just kind of like this just like explosion of thoughts that happens and I can't capture it. There's this very physical element associated with my dreams too. And I'm always wondering, like, how do I experience pain when, like, physically when I'm dreaming of pain and whatnot. I've woken up with like cramps in my neck or like in my feet, and it's been like very connected to like what was happening in my mind. I think my dreams are like this place where everything is very reality based. Like I'm in my house, I'm in my bedroom, but there's someone who would never in my reality be able to cross those lines. Recently, I haven't had very many nightmares. I think the last one I had was it was scary because I heard someone at my door and I like tried to see who it was, and it was just like, I don't even really know who it was, but it was just like this very scary looking person. Just very old, and my first reaction was to scream, but I couldn't. And I think that was the scariest element of it. It wasn't really the person. It was the fact that I wanted to scream, to like call for help, but I couldn't. Like my vocal cords were just cut off. And then I think I woke up after that and was like mildly horrified, and I was like, I have my voice, thank God. And I think, yeah, my nightmares stem a lot from this general fear that I do have of like losing my senses and losing my ability to like connect with the world. I think it just taps into like very primal like fears, primal instincts to be able to connect and be able to articulate yourself, especially in dire situations. And I think nightmares and dreams like put you in a reality where you experience how horrifying it is to be like incapacitated to a certain extent with your communication ability or one's ability to like express themselves. Some of the most like unfamiliar and uncomfortable feelings that I've like had in my life have been after dreaming. Like I'll wake up and it'll just be such a new experience that I just encountered in my head, not interact, and then like, and the senses and the sensory like element of it was so strong, even though like it physically wasn't happening, the process by which it was happening in my head was so strong that it made it feel real, and it made me feel like I was experiencing something that in my daily life would never happen. In my reality is Charlotte, it just wouldn't happen. And I think dreams allow us to experience an alternate reality, and when we remember it, the thing is like remembering it, for me, whenever I try to remember a dream, I just end up like distorting it to form something familiar, to like fit into this idea of my own reality. And in trying to do that, I lose the essence of what it really feels like to be living or to be experiencing things where they just don't make sense. Because here, like on Earth and reality and not dream world, like I try to fit, everything just makes so much more sense. My reality is my reality, basically. And I have a certain degree of control over that, but in dreams, there's no control. Things just happen in this alternate reality, and in the reality that we construct, there's X, Y, and Z happens, and then ABC happens. Everything is so contingent on the past, and I think we rely on these processes to construct our meaning and to explain things and explain why something happens. Something happens because I was at this house because I walked over there because I wanted to get something. Whereas in dreams, that rationale is missing. Rationale just doesn't exist. And I think that in my dreams is what makes it a dream world. And I know I'm dreaming when I'm kind of like, dear Lord, how on earth did I get here? I have no explanation for this. And so it's comforting to feel like I can construct a world that doesn't rely on what I really know and what I really like take for granted here. I can construct that that alternate reality and think so creatively and so imaginatively. And in the dream, that alternate reality makes sense. I'm able to kind of take that reality or that alternate reality for granted. And in like talking about a situation where like you're communicating with the dog in a different language, that just like is something so laughable. But in a dream world, that's not something you'd be laughing at. You'd be experiencing. And I think that like the way I interpret certain dreams from like a very, I guess, meta standpoint is just like the ability to like have this creativity and imagination to like put things together and just trust in the experience. In terms of like interpreting the content, oh God, it's hard to extrapolate meaning because there's no certain pattern I notice. It's always so random. If anything is common, I would say it's the common theme of like being in uncomfortable situations where I can't express myself. And I think, personal fun fact about me, like I really do struggle with communication. And it's something that I'm learning to work with and whatnot, but I like see it in my dreams too, where I really like have my hands tied behind my back or like my mouth tied up, and not physically, but it feels like that's what's happening. And it's like a scare tactic. It makes me wake up the next morning and want to be able to express myself better than how I could have in that dream. They remind me of what I like. When things go bad in the dream, they remind me of what I need to be grateful for. You know how like if you have a dream and it's like so terrible, and then when you wake up you're like, thank God that was a dream. That moment when I wake up is just I feel so gracious and appreciative, and I think dreams really serve to kind of put reality in context as well.